I'm Bailey Michtell, and I'm the Chief Technology and Information Officer for Forsyth County Schools, which is a district outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Our one-to-one is really defined as bring your own technology. We've never been in a situation where we've been able to afford a device for every child, and since 2007 we changed our policies to allow students to bring in their own devices as a grassroots effort across our schools to see what worked, see what would actually be done with students engaged with their own device and how the teacher would react to that and the kind of things that would happen in the classroom. And what we found very quickly was that it worked. It was the kind of thing where teachers, the nightmare scenarios that they would have potentially talked about, gosh, 7 different devices in the classroom, how can I manage that? And they realized very quickly, students manage that aspect of the connectivity. They're responsible for their own device. They just appreciate the privilege of being able to bring it in and use it and be productive. And the teacher then, with some coaching from the local instructional technology specialists in our office, we started talking about, well, here's some of the kind of things you can do. These are some of the collaborative websites that are out there, and these are the sort of things you can engage in with a BYOD environment. And we simply built off of successes for teachers. As a district, we've been scaffolding off of all things traditional instructional materials for years. We've had interactive whiteboards, which have facilitated that in a lot of ways. And the thing that we've always had as a challenge is access. You know, not just the 4 computers in the classroom or some mobile wireless notebooks in a cart, but is everybody connected in a way that you can then, with some of the free sites that are out there that don't require login, that are a collaborative space, get online, the teacher posts something that is related to, let's say, the AP Social Studies class, students annotate, make notes, start sharing their version of, let's say it's a political cartoon with other students in the classes. Groups come together kind of by default, and you've got a real collaborative air. All of a sudden, with the inexpensive free resources that's available off the internet, that greatly enhances the traditional curriculum offering, takes it to the next level. So with the wider community, certainly at elementary, you'll have parents that, I don't know about that, you know, I mean, and I know one parent in particular, you know, what if they bring in the device and they show something on their device? And I go, well, okay, the device is completely connected to the school district's network. It's filtered. It's just like as if they were on a mobile notebook or a desktop in the classroom. Okay, well, that settles fears somewhat. And then they say, what about these students who have data plans? And my favorite with elementary age parents is, well, do you buy your child a $45 a month data plan? Well, no. Well, then it's not an issue. And at the other grade levels, it's been amazing to see how our parents accept, and they have some reservations about breakage, middle school students taking the device in, breaking it. But the reality is that we ask for permission from the parents so they're well aware of what will happen with that device in class. Sometimes the device, like a Nintendo DSi at the elementary, is $135. If it breaks, it's not as big a deal as if you had sent a $500 laptop with them. And basically those fears of the device being stolen or broken are not realized in quantity where it affects the implementation and the perception of, you know, among parents about safety and about security. And students, I think, take care of that kind of argument with their parents at the dinner table, talking about how they're much more engaged in class, and the parents see evidence of them continuing those projects online at home, you know, effectively extending the school day. So it settles out really quickly. So in 2007, we had Always said, you know, can't bring in a device, you know, that could be a security issue, doctor no. And we said, you know what, this is gonna, if we don't deal with this and grapple with how this is gonna look in a policy sense, then it's gonna consume us as we know these devices come in. And so we changed the policy to be that a student can bring any internet-enabled device and connect to the school district network. What we ask, though, is that they do not, if they have a data plan, use that data plan while at school, because of the fact that it would be an unfiltered internet access connection that we don't have any control over, and we feel responsible in that sense. And you know, that problem kind of settles itself, because in a big concrete steel behemoth, the Wi-Fi of an AT&T or Verizon or you know, T-Mobile, all the different providers, isn't as strong or as quick necessarily as our in-house wireless network, which was designed specifically to deliver connectivity for the building. I'm not saying it's good that students have those kind of plans on the side, but in class, we ask that they use our Wi-Fi. For sure, the core question for those who are resistant to the idea is, how committed are you to engaging today's learner? And I will tell you that students who have the privilege of bringing in their own device are more productive, just as you as an adult wouldn't leave the house without your iPhone. You'd turn around and you'd go back and get it, because you wouldn't be able to make it through the workday without that device. Students have that same kind of desire to be productive and connected. And the nightmare scenarios around multiple kinds of devices in a classroom setting are unfounded. I've seen this with even 9-year-olds and 10 different devices. They are very responsible and connected, and they create this community of sharing and helping each other out and providing and sharing with those who don't have in the classroom. I think it's critical with any kind of new, innovative, you know, learning technologies implementation, is to have a support person there in the building who is a peer, who is working with teachers and, you know, gently applying pressure to, let's try this, and I'll be in your class and we'll do this and I'll model for you and then I'll give you a handoff. And that's been a very effective model for our instructional technology specialists to be our BYOD evangelist, if you will.